Today we're gonna see loops of Pythons. Name Aishwarya Shendge. Subject Python. Division A. SRN number 312405553. Let's start. Introduction to loops. In programming, loops are essential control structures. They allow for preparing a block of code multiple times. Python provides two primary types of loops, for loop and while loop. Loops reduce redundancy and improve code readability and efficiently. Importance of loops. Repetition of tasks without writing repetitive code. Crucial for data processing, automation, and real-time application. Foundational in tasks like iterating through lists, files, and databases. Simplifies complex workflows in software development. So basically, loops are the kind of structures where they keep on repeating the same task unless and until you tell them to stop, or there is a condition, or there is a number of times you actually consistently carry out the task. They actually are very crucial for data processing or automation and real-time application. While processing the data, you do have to go through the data quite a few times. So basically, loops helps you go through the data again and again. Automation. While actually going through automation, there are a lot of repetitive tasks that needs to be carried out. So to actually write the code again and again, other than that, the loop actually helps you do the code, write the code in a simplified manner and just iterate through the code again and again whenever it is needed. Foundational in tasks like iterating through lists, files, and databases. So basically, the main task for the loop is to iterate through list, files, and databases to simplify the job of the developer. Simplifies complex workflows in software development. It actually simplifies the work for software development. As we can see how it simplifies complex workflows in software development, it actually helps in making the task of the software development easy by not letting the developer write the same code again and again and making one code and putting the loop on the code. Types of loops in Python. For loop, best suited for iterating over sequences, lists, tuples, strings, and dictionaries. While loop, continuous execution as long as specified condition is true. Nested loops. Loops within loops used for working with multiple dimensional data. So basically, the types of loop. For loop is best suited over iterating for sequences, like small sequences. While loop helps on the complete condition of the loop. Unless and until the condition is not fulfilled, the while loop won't stop. Nested loops are the kind of a loops where there is one loop in another loop for the iteration of it. So basically, if there is one loop on the another loop, the first loop will actually iterate through the whole code, and if there is another loop in that code and in that loop, it will only iterate through the specific executed code. The for loop concept. A for loop is a Python iterates over time of sequence, items of sequence, often used when the number of iteration is known. Ideal for traversing containers like lists, sets, and dictionaries. So basically, for loop is actually used when you know how much number of iterations are to be done to the code or the block of code. If we know that, for example, if there is a sum of an even number where you actually have to find an even number. You act till 100, the iteration will only take place till 100 or 101. So you can put a for loop for that, since you know the number of iterations that are gonna be applied for it. And it actually goes through containers like lists, sets, and dictionaries. While loop concept executes a block of code as long as condition remains true. The while loop more flexible than the for loop, commonly used when the number of iteration is unknown beforehand. Useful in situations like waiting for user input or reading data until EOF, which is end of file. It actually there are no such number of iterations that can take place unless and until the while loop executes a condition. We cannot hang on to where the while loop is conditioned. They have in while loop there is a condition needs to be fulfilled. Unless and until it is not fulfilled, the while loop won't stop. It may go on infinitely as well. It is more flexible than the for loop and is better. Loop control statements. Python includes control statements that alter the flow of loops. So basically, if we actually want to break through the loop, continue the loop, or in while loop, we have to just pass the statement even if it's true or not true. There are three types of possibility we can actually control the statements or break the statements. That is break, continue, and pass. Break exists the loop immediately, no matter if the condition is right or wrong. Continue just skips the current iteration and moves to the next, even if it's not true. Pass, placeholder that does nothing, often used in skeleton code. Practical use cases: reading lines from a file, processing item in a list, creating repetitive user interface elements, running simulations and game loops, validating user input continuously until correct. These are few practical cases. Loop efficiency and optimization. Efficient loops are crucial for performance in large-scale applications. Avoid unnecessary computations within loops. Use list comprehension when possible for concise and fast operations. Minimize nested loops to reduce time complexities. Infinite loops. A loop that never terminates due to an always true condition, which keeps on going consistently. I hope you like the slide. Thank you.